Okay, video is recording. Audio is doing the same. And it's time. In 3. Oh, get off of here. Hold on. Okay, there. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to There Will Be Dungeons for April 5th, 2020, our 100th episode. Yay! Woo! Shoot your guns in the air. Hold on, where's our guns? Oh yeah! Woo! All right.
Do it again.
Okay, here comes.
The hook nanny.
Yeah, the shotgun. Oh, that wasn't as
Now
loud.
97 more times.
That's right, and then a portal gun. Okay, we did it, you guys. We hit 100. Time to close shop. We're done. Thanks, everybody, for being here. See you never again. Just kidding. Not true. We're going to go for another 100. Let's do it together, shall we? Here on the D&D show you love the most. All right, before we get going and get too far, a big shout-out to our friends at phoenixpearltea.com. You haven't heard us mention them in a while. That's just because we were waiting, and now it's time. And we're telling you now, go get your tea. Get your D&D and your T&D. I think I did that right, Kristen.
Coming off that tea.
Yeah, look at that. What do you got there? What's in there? Floating in there?
That is Dust Till Delight.
Nice.
And that's tea particulate.
That's detritus, as you would say.
So
yeah.
So to make tea work, you got to put the tea particulate into the water.
That's what I've heard.
Steep.
You've steeped it in there. Well done. If you
I've got a live pour.
Oh, do you? Go. Do it.
One of my favorite things to do. It's a live pour. We're gonna pour it in.
Watch this. Let me get big on the screen here. Oh yeah.
You hear it pouring? Maybe not.
I hear it tinkling. Yeah, it's like a light.
Pour it all in, so it's gonna overflow.
It was a nice tinkle. I liked it.
And I'm drinking it out of the mug that Kristen and Kyle got me when we met at BlizzCon.
Oh.
It says Debel Pliso.
Yeah.
Which I think is it Latin for Dungeon Master?
It's a draconic for storyteller or something similar.
Even
I got
better.
as close to Dungeon Master as I could.
It's a cup full of meaning. I'm about to sip it.
Even better. If you want to know what that particular tea is, or the many other named teas based on stuff, and There Will Be Dungeons, you can find it at phoenixpearltea.com. And if you want 20% off, no matter what you get over there, and it's stuff they have that isn't anything to even do with us, you can get this code to work. It's Frog Pants Folks Are Badass. That's the full word. Just put it in. All one word. Frog Pants Folk Are Badass. It's a little long, but hey, who are we to complain? Go do it. That's phoenixpearltea.com. Okay, Kristen, I will now hand you the microphone so you can tell us what happened last week on There Will Be Dungeons.
Last time on There Will Be Dungeons, to the library they left. With the Black Billows banished, the Biblios braziers were brightened once more, and the banned books beheld. Varel settled on strength after a failed ferreting of the fastening. With a sonorous snap, the cage was clear. Inside were interred innumerable indices, but their focus found diaries of directors and the Demonic Digest. Unfortunately, reading revealed fruitless findings. Opinions on Orcus and assessments of Asmodeus were worrisome but bootless. The adventure appeared abortive until the worrisome Walnut let slip a spiel of a spook possessing the palm, perhaps the same spirit spurning hope. They went straight away to Stanley and voiced their views. If there were a wight in the wanted work, why not defeat and destroy the pernicious power and turn it to a torpid trinket for Tabacho? They all agreed to assess the altercation with the matron in the morning. Daybreak dawned to a roused and ravenous Stanley, Nash, and Hope. Coming to the kitchen, they managed to make a mouth-watering meal despite a delayed Varel. Stomach-stuffed, they wound their way to the morning meeting, but before settling into seats, Hope revealed the revelation that the voice had verified its mind to materialize momentarily. And so they sat, stressed at the idea of an incoming insincerity. But the meeting meandered without murder. Paladins on Pegasi were to plummet to their predicament, pick up the palm, and present it to Paradise. Apprehensions about the apparition were argued, but to no avail. As the cubby cleared, the commander cornered Stanley, expressing her eagerness to establish a home with him once they could congregate with kids. Now rejoin our heroes as they prepare for a possible perjured pretense. How will Stanley take to his trysts, try for tranquility? Will the promised paladins pull in punctually? And just who will wind up winning the weaponized fist? Stay tuned for today's adventure through the high heights and singular sights of the Outlands.
right, Bo, you have the keys.
We continue our adventure today in the White Tower, an ancient structure that has been manned by the Order of the Obsidian White for millennia. On one of the floors rests a small chapel where an important meeting for the upcoming battle had just been held. The chapel's is darkened with a few braziers illuminating the room and casting shadows in wild places all over. Stanley Billings stands before Elantris Vane, the Knight Commander of the Obsidian White, guarding this tower, and had just professed some elaborate plans for the future for her and Stanley. She looks at you, having stopped her speech, her eyes sparkling, the dancing fire of the brazier dancing in her eyes. She waits a response from you.
There's nothing I would like better than to have the hope of a future. But first, I must uphold a promise I've made and a promise I need to keep before I can let my life rest in any form. And that is the promise to get my friends back home.
And she looks at you, processing the information, and a full 5 seconds goes by in silence. And then you hear she begins looking around, starts patting herself, and then she opens up a compartment in her plate armor, pulls out a stone, and you hear. She says, "I'm sorry, Stanley. I need to see this message." And she waves her hand across the stone and brings the stone up to her ear. And just as she does that, you hear brr, brr, and you feel something dancing amidst your cloak.
Okay, I'll step back and produce the sending stone.
Okay, and it does appear that your sending stone is also notifying you of an incoming message.
All right, I'll. How about? I mean, am I far away for some level of privacy from her?
You're standing right in front of her. We're having an intimate moment, and your stones went off.
Well, I didn't know. Oh, it wasn't the first time. I didn't know how far she had stepped away. So
she hasn't stepped away. She's got nothing to hide from you, so she's standing right there.
Okay,
Hasn't moved the muscle.
I'll also press the button and hold the stone to my ear.
Okay, and the message begins playing back. You hear wind. It's Captain Waltz. I didn't hear back from you. We've seen Pegasus riders on the horizon, and we have a feeling today is the day something's going to go down, so we're making a pass. We're following them. I don't know if you can see us from the tower, but when you're ready, this is your one chance. Make it count. And the message ends. And Knight Commander Elantris also pulls her stone away and looks at you intently, and she says, "We're out of time. The riders are coming within the hour."
Yes, I just got a summons from the airship. They are en route as well. They are behind the Pegasus riders.
Then we shall have this conversation later. For now, to battle.
What exactly is our plan at this point?
It's your plan. We're going to use your teleportation to get to the roof, which is normally inaccessible. And when the riders come in, we will hand it off to them. And they will have a significant head start over the hordes of hell and the abyss, and should make it clear to the other side. But Knight Commander Thale says they think they've been spotted. They can't be sure. The main host of Pegasi riders are going to engage with the army in order to provide a distraction. While a small group meets us at the top of the tower, we hand off the treasure. We defend the riders from any attacks of desperation that may occur while we're upon the roof, and once we see the riders safely off, we return inside to the tower and await for their retreat. And then the battle is won. We can get through this.
Well, my main concern is that they're going to have an airship of criminals chasing them down, likely.
Can
What do
you
we
tell them to
anticipate
break
doing?
off?
I can certainly try to do that.
Tell them that Euphemius will judge them harshly if they intercede in these affairs.
I don't think that's actually going to discourage them none. Non-followers of Euphemius are not exactly thrown by the threat. But we can attempt something.
Do you think that these criminals of yours will attempt to intercede with the riders?
I mean, they sent us here. They certainly want it bad enough.
I don't know. This is your domain, not mine.
Vorel, what do you think?
Me? I think we should entertain the idea that the Pegasi are a ruse, a lie, sent by the demons, and they're here to collect their prize.
I assure you, Knight Commander Thale is an honorable paladin. If he says there are Pegasi riders coming, then they are coming.
I'm not saying that he's not an honorable man. He may not be himself, possessed by one of these demons. It's all too convenient, too soon.
They are rushing to the tower with all haste, Forel. Perhaps they are ahead of schedule.
Too convenient.
Well,
I have
we know
faith in
for
my
a
brothers.
fact that Pegasi are on the way. We've heard that from this new airship commander. He has no reason to lie about it, but what their intentions are does remain somewhat unclear. The other concern I have and have to consider is that if I do send a message back, then it will be known for sure that we managed to make it to the tower. If we don't respond, if we disappear, there's a chance they assume your order managed to find us out and kill us, and that's not any revenge that's going to be sought on our world
What?
if they just assume we failed.
Yes, that we could do that, right? We have someone else answer the stone. Tell them we were captured, killed.
It's a good idea.
That's not
We
a
could
bad
have
plan.
You send a message and say your little excursion has been foiled. Ask them to surrender in the name of Euphemius. Make them think the whole mission is for nothing. Maybe they'll turn around and leave.
All but me, then. I will not have some false story spread in Sigil about my defeat.
No, I agree with Vorel, but for different reasons. One does not lie simply because it's a convenient way to defeat our enemies.
I'm
We must
not
do it the
looking
right
to
way.
defeat enemies. I'm looking to protect a world. If we make it clear that we came here and betrayed him, the one portal that we know to our world is now held by a criminal who wants us dead. There's a lot of people that could suffer.
We cannot compromise our morals and ideals simply because it's inconvenient. There must be a better way through this situation. I will not stand here and allow one of my men, my brothers or sisters, to lie on your behalf simply to form some kind of backhanded ruse. If they intend to intercede, we will meet them on the field of battle, just as we'll meet any demon or devil from any pit they come from.
And where will the followers of Euphemius be when they turn their attention to our world?
That you cannot. She takes a deep breath. She says, "Oh, Stanley, you come from misery. You come from place where everything is awful, and you've had no choice but to resort to desperate tactics and of desperate men. That is not the way towards the light. We cannot adjust our character simply because evil has the upper hand. It's not your fault that evil perverts your lands and your world. And don't compromise the only thing that you have that is under your own control, your soul. We won't lie or use subterfuge. We will exercise the will of Euphemius, if necessary, to solve our problems. Call them back and command them to turn around, that you have it under control. And you do. There's no lie there. Do you think they listen to you?
No. Who am I to them? I'm the person they asked to do a thing.
Then we must fight them too. Is there any way that we could impede them before they reach the tower?
We could simply ask for more time, tell them to circle back, see if they can buy us any more time rather than rush in.
Look, I'll be back, but now that we know it's within an hour, we have to start making preparations. I must start gathering the men and women of the tower and prepare them for defenses. If you need anything, go to the sub-basement. The blacksmith is down there. They can prepare you with any weapons you might need and meet back up here in 15 minutes. Before I go, we're not going to be able to know when they've arrived, and there's no windows in the tower, and we can't wait on the roof signaling them, so we'll need to send out scouts. You've met some of the brothers and sisters here. Do you have any recommendations on who I should send as a scout?
How dangerous is the scouting mission?
The land surrounding the tower, they're covered in dredges. Very dangerous.
All
But
right,
we've
well,
got no options.
maybe don't send Walnut. Is all I'm saying. Is all Nash would say.
Agreed.
He'll die.
Well, that's not why I'm sending him. He has difficulty in anxious situations. Still learning to keep his hands steady. What about Gregor and Clutchup?
I mean, we faced them in battle. I can't say that I was overly impressed, but they seem good enough.
They're not there to fight, they're there to observe, and once they see the riders coming in, to come back to the tower and alert us. At which point, we teleport to the roof.
They let us live. I trust in their observation and decision making.
Good. Come up with a plan for how to deal with the ships. I'll prepare the defense of the roof. How many teleportation scrolls do you have? We should bring as many people above as we can.
Not many. I believe I only have one left. I can cast it myself.
We have
But-
only one left.
I think. Hold on, I'm looking. Yep, one left.
So you can only bring... How many can you bring to the roof?
Nash is capable of casting the spell, as am I, and then we have the scroll itself. That's
So it's like 2 per spell because you can bring a buddy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So how many?
We need 2.
How many people can you bring up?
Well, we would have to theoretically teleport back, because do you have to be a caster in order to read it, the scroll, and use it?
You have you have to be able to read that spells that school, so you have to be able to class appropriate for that.
Well, because we would have to teleport back in.
Yeah, you're gonna be
So-
muling people. Yeah.
So that would be 1 trip with 1 person, then 1 trip back, then 1 trip, 2 people out, and then 1 person could do a one-way trip. So that's 5. We can get 5 people out there.
And do you have enough spell slots to bring people back?
And then
I don't know if Scott still has that spell or not.
I don't.
Oh,
I just didn't want to interrupt. I don't have that spell anymore.
if I burn everything as much as I possibly can, I can cast it 5 times. 6 with the scroll.
Well, that's enough, right?
Well, assuming you want to bring the 4 of you and the Knight Commander, that's 5. So how many? It's going to take you 5 casts of the spell, or 4 casts of the spell to do it.
So give Nash the scroll. That's Nash and 1 person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then Stanley goes with Varel. Then back. Then Hope. Then back. Then the Knight Commander and Stanley.
Okay,
We
so
can
that's
get-
1, 2, back is 3, back again 4. So 4 spell casts will get it. The 5 of you onto the roof. It doesn't allow anything more than 1 other person.
Nope.
Do you have any other teleportation spells?
Nope.
I have a teleportation circle, but its use case is not this.
The teleportation circle.
Yeah. Cast a spell. You draw a 10-foot diameter circle on the ground inscribed with sigils that link to your location to a permanent teleportation circle of your choice, whose sigil sequence you know. The problem is I don't have that anywhere, so I need a base permanent circle somewhere else to go to it.
Right.
Now that wouldn't work in Tiatkala basement, would it?
No,
It
because I didn't
would.
have.
Yep.
It can't. The only problem is it can't cross planes.
Oh, okay.
Well, even if it could, I didn't set that up as a. I didn't have the spell then, so.
It does work as a teleportation circle, however, in that plane. I think Stanley had established that with Nobieri.
Oh, all right. If that's the case,
So
cool.
if you do make it back to Earth, you can use that to get back to Tiet Kala instantly. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, you can't create permanent circles until you cast the same location every day for 1 year in that spot. So you can't just put the sigils on the ground. Like, you can put the sigils on the ground as the from destination, but the to destination
Right.
has to be there. But the Knight Commander listens to you saying this, and she goes, "There might be a teleportation circle in the basement. It hasn't seen use in some time. Perhaps you should go investigate."
We should. Why are we only now hearing about this?
It's the first time it's come up in conversation.
All right, let's go. Who wants to go with me?
All right, I'm off to see to the knights. Figure out what you're going to do about that. I can't solve all of it. I'm going to take care of the defense of the
But
handoff.
before you go, is the main gate the only way directly in or out where we can actually open a passage?
Yes, the main gate's the only way in or out. It's
While
intention.
we do not have a lot of scrolls of Dimension Door, we can do the reverse gravity. It would be very treacherous, but we could hit a lot more people and float up the side of the tower.
How high does the reverse gravity go?
I don't know. I didn't research this.
Plus,
spell. I
wouldn't we fall at velocity and not float? Unless, I
Well,
guess,
you're reversing gravity.
yeah, it just flips the other way. You're still falling, right?
Yeah, into the sky.
I don't know. This was suggested to Stanley. He didn't research this spell at all.
We get a reverse parachute.
Yeah.
Reverse gravity. Let's see.
It's a 100-foot high cylinder, so you can move up 100 feet.
How tall is the tower?
Probably about 100 feet. It has 8 floors.
Okay.
10 feet. Say about 15 feet of floor. It's probably close, if not enough.
Personally, I love this idea. I will go with the scouts then. We will use the reverse gravity, run up the side of the tower, and join you.
All right. But we will need somebody who can cast the spell.
Walnut.
It's tagged as available for druid, sorcerer, and wizard.
Oh, so Stanley wouldn't even be able to use this.
Mm-mm.
Well, we didn't think this plan through very well. Whoever came up with this plan for Stanley did a bad job.
Well,
There must be one of those in the tower.
I mean, Nash could do it.
I could do it.
But technically, reverse gravity, I think it just affects people in the AoE, so you can bring up as many people as you want.
Yeah.
Did the lady leave already? Bo?
No, we were still talking to her about this.
Oh.
She hasn't left yet, but she's slowly inching her way to the door. She's trying to, like...
I'll just say...
The riders are going to be there within an hour. She has a whole... she's got to get the whole tower ready. So
I'll just say quickly. Are there any other magic users? Any with arcane knowledge in this place?
No, this is not a tower for wizards and sorcerers. It's a tower erected to defend the followers of Euphemius. So only relics of holy nature are found here. But you may wish to speak with the blacksmith.
Relics of holy nature. Weapons?
Yes. See the blacksmith.
All right.
All right.
Not an apron.
Get out of here then. Don't let us hold you up. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Go.
She looks at you, a look of anger at the disrespect that you're showing her, and she grabs the hilt of her sword and tightens it, but then turns around and, as if saving that thought for later, and pushing it back down, and walks off.
All right.
And there's a quick look to you, Stanley, before she walks off.
I give her
Elantra,
a look
you
that
didn't
says,
say anything.
I understand the urge to kill Nash.
Okay, very good.
I get it.
And she won't remember that. That's fine.
Keep talking. Nash spilled water. Keep talking.
See?
Nash spilled water. That's a lie. Nash doesn't drink water. All right. So, yeah, she leaves the four of you alone.
That woman is possessed.
You're quite certain of that, then?
Certainty. Well, I'm just voicing my opinion.
Oh. Either way, we need to figure out what we're going to do and how to do it.
I can think of nothing more valiant than running up the side of the tower to face our enemies.
I do like this idea. It's going to be dangerous. We can maybe take a couple people up to the top to help pull people in as they raise up. I do think we need to go see this blacksmith, and Nash should definitely learn this teleportation circle.
What of the actual plan here, Stanley? Are we just going to give a powerful artifact to the convenient Pegasi that arrive following the convenient arrival of the Knight Commander?
I mean, in lieu of anything else, I suppose, yes. Look, we can give it to a criminal who has said he has an interested buyer, who could be evil. At the very least, they're willing to go through a criminal to get it. Or we can give it directly to the demons, who are the people we don't want to have it. Or we can give it to the people that are, at the very least, pretending to be good.
One shields your conscience, but they're all false.
All right, well, which one is true?
We could also open it.
Yes, destroy it ourselves.
I mean, if it was as simple as just people open it and hit it with a stick, I'd imagine they'd have tried it by now. They want to take this thing to the very pinnacle of heaven itself to be destroyed. It doesn't scream, let's just open it and stab it a bunch and hope it all goes well.
But what if it is just possessed? We kill the creature inside. And Hope looks down. She sees a mouse scurry by.
Not a mouse, I'm a rat.
Oh no. Varel, for all your anxieties about what people say may or may not be true, you seem to be hanging an awful lot of hope on a lot of ifs. If we open it, we can destroy it. If we open it and it's possessed, we can fight whatever's possessing it, and somehow killing it will make it just a useless gauntlet. I mean, to me, this is putting as much faith in that as it is putting faith in Pegasus riders that they're going to do the right thing.
This is all made up. There's only one thing I believe.
What
principle?
about the dragon who took us to space?
That was a shared vision, perhaps a inducement of some sort of fog we move through. If you remember, too, I battled trees with eyeballs for an hour. And then we talked to skeletons. Yes? Do we share this memory?
Yes, all of this did happen.
Those things were true. And then we met that dragon, and he was real, because he was in the body of the demon was in his body, and we fought him in space. And poor Chance still circles through space this day. That is a real thing.
It seems to me like at this point, we are going to have to take something on faith.
Then we must take precautions. Only us and the Knight Commander should be on top of the tower. For she was revealing herself to be a demon there. We must defeat her free of a bunch of lowborn smiters.
Okay, so the 5 of us go to the top of the tower. And then what? Possibly fight her if she's a demon. If she's not a demon, what next? Accompany her? Hand the fist off and say, so long?
We go to heaven? Yes? Turn in the fist, meet Euphemius, and then he sends us home.
Okay.
Because only then will we know that heaven is a real place.
I'm good with this plan.
Then we evade, capture, and imprisonment. Stanley, I still curse you to this moment that you used my real name amongst the thieves.
I'm not as good at the subterfuge as I perhaps suggest.
We had outfits. the soggy feather is doomed to be attacked by assassins.
No. But look, what if Euphemius would have to owe us something? What if we could ask him to erase the memories of something? Close the portal to Earth on Sigil, send us back.
That'd be a good trick. None of these I like. But I do believe something is going to go wrong at the top of this tower, and we need to be prepared for it.
All right. Do we all ascend the tower together then?
That's how we do everything else.
Hope will nod.
All right. Then we'll report to the Knight Commander that this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. Until then, I think we should see this blacksmith. And Nash, I think you need to go learn this teleportation circle.
Okay.
Also take these, because they're apparently useless to me, and I only just realized it now. I give him all 8 scrolls of reverse gravity.
Do you have 8 scrolls of reverse
Oh my
gravity?
gosh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, so write down 8 scrolls of reverse gravity, Nash.
I'm adding them now.
There's an excited look on Nash's face as you hand them over.
Reverse grab.
He drops one and doesn't even notice, so you have to pick it up and give it to him.
I don't see it. Why?
Scrolls are
No, you
generic.
won't find it. Just you have to type it in.
Oh, we're just adding it?
You
Okay.
have 8.
No, that's
8
fine.
scrolls.
I
Yeah.
thought maybe it was a
The scroll.
thing.
The scroll. There is an item, but it's just generic, so you won't know what it is of.
Okay.
It's just easier to type it or make a note of it.
It's all good. 8 scrolls of reverse gravity. Okay, I got them.
Perfect.
All right. I guess we're going to go make our way to the blacksmith. Nash is going to go
Blacksmith.
learn teleportation circle.
Yeah. Do I know where this circle is, Bo?
Elantris had mentioned both were deep in the sub basement below the library.
Okay.
Oh. So we say goodbye, but then we all keep walking together, and it's awkward.
It's like one of those. All right.
Yeah, you say goodbye, but it's all weird. You make your way down 5 flights of stairs down to the tower, and as you approach the main floor where the gate is, you hear the yelling of a commander dressing down his guards, getting them ready for battle. You hear "Woo!" like a loud chorus of chanting, and there's a voice going "Woo! You can't make out the words. You just sort of hear that as you descend down the stairs. You move past the floor to where the library is, and you notice that the stairs do continue on, but it's not brick anymore. They become sort of carved out of stone, and everything looks like black rock as you descend further down below the tower. As you make your way to the base of the stairs, where the stairs descend no further, it opens up into a corridor made of stone. And you hear bink, bink, the sound of hammer hitting metal. And as you make your way down, it opens up into a workshop in a cave. And you see all kinds of helmets and swords and suits of armor on display on the left and right. And towards the end of this great chamber, you see an anvil and it's not a harlow, they call that thing, like a, what is it again? Forge.
Forge.
There's a large forge with heated metal, and there's a dwarf standing there all by his lonesome with an blacksmith's apron on with tools attached to his belt. He's got long braided red hair, and he's hammering away on a sword on an anvil. Bing, bing. Doesn't hear you coming.
All right. We go try and get in his peripheral vision.
Okay, so are you trying to scare him or trying not to scare him?
Try not to scare him.
All right, so you have to make a stealth roll to be unstealthy, but to not scare him, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So it's a group one, please. Everyone needs to roll.
Okay.
Well, that was a bad roll. 7.
13 here.
24.
7,
18.
18, 24, 18. Okay. So you manage to walk up to him in such a way as a group that you don't scare him, but you make enough noise for him to look in your direction. And he looks over. And he raises up. He's got this mask over his face. He raises it up and looks at you. He's got a big bearded face. Who the hell are you? You sure you're supposed to be down there?
Yes, the Knight Commander sent us. We are about to begin a mission. We're needing supplies.
Oh, the Knight Commander remembered me. Well, what can a dwarf do for you?
Well, we're hoping to get outfitted. We are about to be under heavy attack. We need to prepare.
Oh, so the battle's nigh then.
Yes.
Okay, and you're must be the folks came uninvited, eh?
That's us.
All right. So, what weapons will you lads be needing?
Demon slaying weapons.
The only kind I've got. You'll have to be more specific. Do you want something to rip off their heads, or something to bash in their brains?
Both are excellent. Amuse me.
Oh, feisty one. Well, let's see. And he starts digging through this. There's this sort of tinker box. He lifts up the lid and he starts digging around in it. You hear metal clanking on metal. I got lots of odds and ends. It'd be helpful if you could narrow down your what you'd like to use there.
Well, let's see.
Oh.
We know that they had dragons of a kind in our initial invasion, as long as flying creatures. Do you have anything that would allow me to rip their wings off?
Well, I think I've got something. How are you with fire, Mr. Lizard?
Proficient and enjoyable.
Well, if you promise to take good care of her, I've got just the thing for you. Just give me a second. And he walks towards the back of his workshop, and there's this case on the shelf. It's really large. He pulls out a step stool, and then he climbs up on the step stool, takes down the case, and it's really heavy. So you see him sort of lean forward a bit, but his strong dwarven frame is able to lift this thing. And then he lowers it down. He bends at his back and lowers it down on the workshop bench, gets off the stool, knocks on it, and he says, "Dad, open that one up."
I fling it open.
All right, you fling it open, and you see a large, very long greatsword. It has a golden hilt, and there's sort of this ornate wrapping where the handle is, but the rest of the hilt is gold, and there's a large red gem in it, and the blade itself is a silvery color. That's a piece I've had for a while now. Needs a good home. Why don't you take her?
Beautiful specimen. What's its name?
Doesn't have a name. Was just made.
Ah,
It's waiting for its master to give it one.
then I will christen it on the battlefield. And I take it.
All right. As you take it into your hand, 1 second, I'm just getting that information. As you take it into your hand, you feel that there's something different about this sword. There's something hot and burning, even though you don't feel any fire. There's an essence to this sword that just gives you like these visions of flames, just a sea of flames. Now, in order to use that sword properly there, Mr. Big Bronze Man, you'll need to give it a command word.
And what will it
So-
do when I issue this command word?
Concentrate really hard. Put your hands on the hilt and think of the thing that you'll yell out in battle. It'll know if you've picked right.
All right. And I grab it and kind of wander over to the corner and start working on it.
Okay. So as soon as you figure out what the command word is, you'll find out what it does. He's running off to study right now. And you, fancy lad, you need anything for your hair?
Nash goes, fancy lad.
No, thank you. I typically do tend to fight more with magic, but when I do battle, it tends to be shorter, lighter blades like this, and I show my rapier.
Ah, so you're a cheap bastard.
But I'm alive.
Yeah. Tricks. Magic is tricks. Give me a good man or woman with a great sword or hammer in their hand any day. Pound the piss out of any magic person. You like a blade, huh?
I do.
He starts digging around through rummaging through his box. I don't know if I've got something for your kind here, but try this one. And he hands you a sword. It's a dagger. Actually, not a sword. He hands you a small dagger. It is etched with these terrible symbols on them, actually, on the blade, but on the hilt, it has like these little sculptures of faces of like stoic, almost looking like maybe like some alien type of human that hasn't existed before. Just their faces are very strange. So the hilt is ornate and beautiful, but the blade itself looks jagged and is filled with these glyphs on them that are mysterious to you.
All right. I reach back and unsheath one of my basic daggers, the one I keep hidden in the small of my back. Trade you, seeing as I'm trading up.
A coin. Don't want a knife. Give me a coin. When someone gives you a knife, you give them a coin.
Do I have a coin? I don't know if I ever made any money since coming back to life.
Oh, right. You used to have all the cash, but I don't think we have any cash
I used
now.
to have money. I don't anymore.
Someone on the team must have a gold piece.
I don't have any money.
Hold on. Oh, I'm not there with him.
What
I
about
know I
Mr.
am. I'm still
Moneybags,
there.
Pharrell?
Am I still there or am I with Varel?
Yeah, you have money, don't you?
I think so. Hang on.
Sure you do.
Can't remember. I have.
I mean, I'm sure Stanley made a gold piece at some point.
Yeah, didn't you made some money? Weren't you hustling during that downtime?
How much does he need?
Well, nothing typically was, but
How much
I'm
does
sure he made a gold at least, so I'll flip him a gold. And I'll go back to being broke.
Okay. I thought maybe when you came back to life, while Nash was recovering all his body parts, there was some downtime where you were, getting information, I'm sure hustling in some capacity, right?
Yeah, that was the plan, but we never worked out what I made,
All
so...
right. It
I
could be
think
any
it's just
coin, so it
kept
could be
me.
like a copper piece. It doesn't have to be a gold piece, too.
Alright.
All right, so you toss him a coin. He nods at you, and gives you the dagger.
Alright. Got a dagger.
All right. Add a Corpse Slayer dagger to your inventory. Now, what about you, lass? You're looking right fierce. Don't see your kind in here very often.
Bullets.
What, for a sling?
No, for a gun. And she'll pull out her guns.
Shakes his head. What in the name of Palor is that? It's a kid's toy.
We'll smirk and then just kind of walk off.
What about armor? None of you fools need armor.
Unless you have something light. Leather.
We got the best kind of armor in all the Outland. Mithril. It'll save your neck. The claws will sink into the metal and not into your flesh. It's right
Never
good.
heard of it.
Well, it's plate armor. It's quite heavy, but it'll save you. No? All right. Well, what else can I get for you?
What do you have in the way of magic items? I'm guessing none, since you're such a magic hater.
No, I'm a blacksmith, and I take my work seriously, and I don't make no magic items. But we've had our share of visitors over the years. Maybe I've got something for you. Just a second. And he goes back to his tinkle trunk, sort of in the back there. And
His
starts.
tinkle trunk?
Yeah, it's this big box full of weapons that are just piled in that he's been pulling weapons out of.
Okay.
And he digs through the box and then he pulls out a broom. And he looks at it and he goes, "What's this doing in here?" And he tosses it on the ground. And as he tosses it off the ground, it bounces and then hovers a few feet off the ground.
Like which style? Like a flying broom?
There's a broom floating in the room between you and the dwarf.
Is it floating parallel or upright?
It's floating this way.
Okay.
Horizontal.
Or horizontal is what I meant. Not parallel.
His face is back in the tickle trunk looking around.
Okay.
Ah, here you go. And then he pulls out a large staff. It's white, and it has a white bird perched atop at the end of the staff, with its wings spanned completely. You know, like it's like a beautiful, I don't know what kind of bird, like a white dove,
Okay.
just with its wings sort of expanded out at the top of the staff. He goes, "Ah, maybe this one will help you. I
Hope
don't remember."
What will Hope do?
Oh, while this is going on, Hope goes to grab the broom.
Okay, you grab the broom.
I'm glad someone's grabbing it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Hope, you can.
I'll take the staff. Give me the staff, he says.
All right, and he hands it to you.
I yank it out of his tiny little stupid hands and I hold it tight and grip it.
Okay, and you immediately, as your fingers touch the staff, you immediately understand what the staff does. It just almost like near field communication. As soon as you put your hand on it, your mind is filled instantly with knowledge, as if you knew this the whole time, of what this does. Add a Skyblinder staff to your inventory.
Skyblinder, eh?
Yep. You'll gain a +1 to attack and damage rolls while using the staff to attack, and while holding it, you get +1 to your spell attack rolls. And you can also use it if a flying creature within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll. You can use a reaction to cause it to flare with light and give the attacker disadvantage on a failed save and blind it.
Give me the full name again one more time.
Skyblinder.
That is apparently not in here either, right? This is not a standard item, is one you made up?
It is. It should appear. It's not appearing.
No. When I hit add,
That's annoying.
I can do it either one word or two, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't find it either way.
No, it's because it's part of a module I don't own. But I didn't
Oh.
realize that. I hate that so much. Oh my god.
Oh, that's weird. I see it. I have
You
it.
have Ravnica. You have the Ravnica book, don't you?
Yeah, I should be able to share it. Everybody should have access to that stuff.
I think sharing it shares it, but the DM still has to own it, possibly, for it to appear. I'm just trying to add it for him now, and I'm like, I can't find it either.
Do you want me to
That's
just
dumb.
put in the basics, and then when I use it, we'll refer to the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so lame. Okay.
I'll make a note.
Yeah, I'll send you the text of it so you have it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And Hope, you can add for yourself. So I'm just going to get the text over to Scott here. You can add for yourself. What's the name of this thing? I have a lot of tabs open, just searching. A broom of flying. You should be able to add that to your inventory.
Done.
Okay, now I'm putting the text here for the Skyblinder staff. We'll add it in later, but you have it now. Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, then. He looks around. He says, is that everything I can do for you?
I've been yelling in the corner the whole time
Okay.
and going, Liar's Bane, the Liar's Pyre, Courageous Conflagration, a Truth Inferno, and other such things.
Do you know what you want to yell as a player?
All of those are good to me, but which one activated it?
Well, we're gonna say the one that you want is the one that'll activate it, if that makes sense.
Ooh, hmm.
We can change it later if you really didn't like what you picked today. But we got to pick something today.
Fangs Inferno.
Fangs Inferno. Okay, so you yell out Fangs Inferno, and the sword lights up, whoosh, in flames, and the blade becomes it becomes hot with fire, and everyone can see like the shadows dancing on your face as you have this large flaming sword with a gold hilt in your hands. So add Flame Tongue Great Sword version to your inventory, please.
It is done.
And I will try and get you a photo of that because there actually is one, which is cool. All right, so the four of you have toys. The dwarf looks over to the four of you, looking content. He says, "Oh, I forgot you, lass. Put that broom away. You don't need that."
No, I'll bring it up. It got kind of messy up there.
Okay. Then he goes in. You'll probably be wanting these too. I don't know what they're for, what you'll be doing, but it's probably dangerous. And he rummages into this. He has this sort of, that's not quite a milk crate, but it's like a crate. And there's these bottles, like these elixirs in them. And he grabs 4 bottles and he hands one out to each of you. And these are potions of healing.
Oh, shit. That's ominous. We'll take those.
So,
Is it greater, superior, or supreme?
I think it's just. You asked me a question I was expecting for.
It's thin crust.
Regular one, yeah.
Meat lovers.
Thin crust. Never meat lovers. Thin crust all the way.
Stuffed crust.
What were the options again? Because mine just said potion of healing. It didn't give me options. That was
There's multiple ones. There is a regular potion of healing. There's also greater, superior.
Yeah, regular.
And
Then
supreme. Okay.
regular. Just a regular one.
The 2d4 plus 2 one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Added.
I'm glad Kyle and I were on the same pizza plane there for a bit.
Pizza Planet.
Yep.
All right. Well, there you go. Now you've each got something new to help you in your battles ahead. And he nods and looks at you. He says, "Well, if you see any of the brothers of the Knight of the Obsidian White, send them down here, eh? Their equipment doesn't look good. We have to make sure we're ready."
We'll be sure to send them this way.
All right, great. Picks up a mug of mead, pounds it back, and then he puts his face visor back on, and he turns to his sword, and he starts going, bing, bing, bing. Continues back onto his work.
All right, let's get you that teleportation circle, and then we'll go find the Knight Commander.
Bing,
So we go looking for it.
I'll leave the room.
Yeah.
Okay, well, leaving the room would bring you back to the stairwell. There doesn't appear to be any other exits in the room. You don't see a teleportation circle, but you were told it was down here.
Oh. Go ask him. Is there a teleportation circle around here? The Knight Commander alluded there was one in the basement.
Okay, and he lifts up his visor and he goes, oh, you mean the old chamber?
I suppose I do.
Sure.
Follow me. And he moves to the back of the workshop, and it's a cavernous wall. So on one part of the cave wall, there seems to be a little rift in the wall where if someone was skinny enough, they could move in sideways and move through. Of course, this dwarf is not skinny enough, but he reaches his hand in, and his face becomes red as he's like, and then you hear, and then a piece of stone moves up. Looks and he goes, the old room down the hall.
Anything we need to know about this hall?
Well, no one's set foot in it for a couple of 100 years.
No ancient
Apart
traps.
from that.
You're not worried about ancient traps or any other sort of surprises that you don't. That you've
No,
heard?
the paladins are not big on traps. You'll be fine.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start heading down that hall.
All right, Nash immediately beelines and disappears into the blackness of the doorway.
Hope joins.
All right, and everyone hurriedly follows Nash. You make your way down the hallway, and the hallway begins turning back into a stone sort of wall. It looks like something ancient, like maybe some old building or old dungeon that was once here. You make your way down the hall, and every 10 or 20 feet, you see a statue of a paladin, somebody from millennia's past. You don't know who they are, but they're commemorated here in this hallway. And after passing 5 or 6 rows of these, you enter into a large underground chamber that's a circular sort of dome roof. And there are pillars in this room, like 8 of them all around. And in the center of the room, there's a large circle, and there's a series of glyphs around it. Now, the circle's fabricated from the stone itself. Some of it rises a bit from the ground. So you see there's like a little pit, and the glyphs are around. And it's a teleportation circle. It looks like it has not been used in a very long time. The dust is thick in this room.
Any can I do an arcana check or something, some kind of check to see if I can tell if it's in good enough shape to be active again, but there's an endpoint that I could maybe decipher what that is, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, you can investigate it using arcana.
All right, I'll do an arcana check then. That will be... Whoops. Gotta add my modifier. All right. A 25.
Okay, so you instantly in your mind, without having to investigate very long, it is clearly the sigils of a teleportation circle. And if you would note down the glyphs, you would be able to draw them anywhere else in the world and teleport back to this location. The magic here still remains, even though it's unused. There's something old about this particular area, and you can feel like arcane threads tying to the center point in this room, this area of great power. You're confident you'll be able to bring the party here with the teleportation circle.
All right. I'll commit them to... I may actually even have a little pad with me. Hold on.
You know what? One of the things about this spell is that you might have missed too when you leveled up and took this, because we didn't talk about it. But when you first gain, it says when you first gain the ability to cast a spell, you learn the sigil sequences for 2 destinations on the material plane determined by the GM. So you actually start knowing 2 locations.
Okay. They don't have to be...
Like, you don't have to have found them out in the
Okay.
world. You will also learn 2 locations.
Okay.
One of which we'll say is Tiet Kala. So you might want to make a note for yourself
Okay.
that you know the location for Tiet Kala, and that you the second one is a location somewhere on Earth as well. You're not sure where.
Okay.
Okay, and now you can write down your third location would be the White Tower in the Outland.
And White Tower. Okay.
All right, perfect. Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, you have that in order. You spend about 5 minutes looking at it while the party watches you, and you're good. You know you can teleport to this circle.
All right. I'll turn around and inform them as such, and you say that from my from my observation, it's good. It's a working teleportation
Yes.
circle point. Okay.
The thing to note about teleportation circle, it says here the casting time is 1 minute.
Right.
So you can't just snap your fingers. You have to like draw the sigil somewhere else and then spend a minute casting it.
Right.
So it's not a combat usable spell really, unless
Right.
someone was to protect you during combat for the period of time
Right.
that it takes to draw it down. So a minute, but yes, you can. This is yours to use.
Okay.
Also, keep in mind with this spell, it's important now that we're discussing it. This is the first spell I've seen from one of you guys that has a gold piece cost. That means you can't use your spell source to replace the material. So, in order to use the spell, you do have to have 50 gold pieces worth of rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems worth 50 gold pieces.
I have 650 from my various.
Right. So you need the
jobs.
rare chalks, inks,
Right.
infused with precious gems.
Right. Okay.
So that's something we haven't talked. Because sometimes I think there's some house rules where GMs will just let you spend the gold and not have the item, but we're not doing that here. You'll need the reagents for it.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. Yeah. So the room is quiet. You're in this large, ancient part of what might have been an old castle or dungeon. There's a teleportation circle. Room's dome shaped. It's just the four of you.
Well, I think we're as ready as we're going to be. Should we go talk to the Knight Commander? What do you think, Nash?
I think unless you have any things else we need to pick up or do, and I'll inform inform him I need the components to use this circle. So I'll tell you that, Stanley, without repeating it all.
Well, I don't think we're going to find them here, but we can certainly keep an eye out wherever we may go.
And the broom, it was floating.
That's
Why would this thing float?
That's like my
And
old
Hope will
underwear,
start
Hope.
messing around with it.
It's like my old underwear. Here, hop on there, and then I'm going to turn on my now integrated underwear body and float with her.
Yep, you begin floating 10 feet above the ground.
Hope will look at Nash and then kind of worriedly get on the broom.
Yeah.
All right, so you mount the broom and you concentrate, and it floats you up 10 feet, and you're sort of riding it like a witch. Now, you take a little bit of time to get used to being on it. You're a little awkward, but you can see yourself getting the hang of it.
All right, and then she'll concentrate and see if she can't move it around.
Okay, so is there any instruction on this about how the movement works? Is it simply a mount? Let's see.
I spilled so much water.
The broom of flying. You have to speak a command word in order for you to be able to use it. It says here. Has a fly speed of 50 feet, can carry up to 400 pounds, but it becomes 30 feet speed when you're carrying 200 pounds. You can send the broom to travel alone to a destination within 1 mile of you. If you speak the command word, name the location, or familiar with that place, the broom comes back to you when you speak the command word, provided that the broom is still within 1 mile of you. So you're floating there, and it won't move until you speak its command word.
Move.
It does not move. You can spend an hour. You can spend an hour to tune with it to learn its command word, or you can spend a lot of time guessing.
I'll spend some time with it. Okay. But I don't know if everyone else will want to sit around as Hope tries to finagle with this flying sweeper.
It's all you'll be able to do with your time left.
I was going to say, I don't know if we even have an hour. Do we? How much time do we have?
It's all you'll be able to do with your time left. If that's what you want to do, Hope.
Because mine also requires attunement.
Oh, cool. So Hope will attune with the broom.
Okay. And Nash and Varel. Do you want to spend time also studying your items?
Yes.
Yeah, if they're going to be doing that with me as well.
Yes, let's get attuned, but we didn't solve the issue of the chalk, right? We can't do the teleportation circle.
No,
we
you'll need
can't.
reagents.
So we got to find chalk in that time.
Wherever we get going to. Yeah. If we
Just
make
to
it
be
back
clear,
to
it's-
Sigil, we could probably find some there.
It's chalk and inks infused with precious gems.
But wasn't the plan to use this circle now to go up to the top and ferry people back and forth, or?
Oh, no, the circle he can only teleport back to this circle.
Oh, got it. Okay, so the plan is still to do double teleports together.
But if we were to go to someplace like heaven and we could find the reagents between here and there, we could in theory teleport right back if we wanted to be back in the tower.
There's also the reverse
Got it.
gravity plan.
And a broom.
And a broom.
And a broom.
All right, well, that's as good a time as any to take our midway break as we've done our inventory check. Let's have a little break and see what happens next. There will be dungeons.
I like that. Let's do that. We'll be back in a minute, everybody. Don't go too far. We're just going to go pee and refresh ourselves. And we'll be right back. So stay tuned.
Pee.